Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
It's our Purple Picks Saturday edition of Purple Daily here, where we make our official picks for Vikings Bears, presented in part by Nicolay Law, the exclusive personal injury law firm of Purple Daily. So Russell Nicolay and his team know that when you or a loved one gets injured, ordinary life can come to a stop and things can get complicated. That's where Nicolay Law comes in. Locally operating, they're just your normal everyday folks that you see around the Twin Cities, but they happen to have law degrees, and they can get you the compensation you deserve after an accident. So if you've been injured, get Minnesota's local award-winning injury lawyers. Get Nicolay, nicolaylaw.com, or give them a call at 1-855-NICOLAY. Vikings Bears week here, boys. How are we feeling in general? We'll get to our official picks here soon.
We're popping the sweaters, what we're doing.
Popping the ugly Christmas sweater, scorner.com/shop. Yes.
I actually think it's sort of nice. I'm not going to lie. I don't mind it.
Pretty
the
comfortable.
footballs are festive. It's comfortable. It's got snowflakes. I like it.
The footballs are festive. Yes. Glad you said footballs there to avoid getting memed on the internet. What are you most confident in on behalf of the Vikings?
It's going to happen. It's going to happen regardless. I am most confident in that we are going to see more of Mr. TJ Hockenson than we have in his first 3 games back.
Really?
So he has played 47% of the snaps, which is not a ton, in the first 3 games back, okay? Josh Oliver, very iffy here. Very iffy. I don't think he's going to play. He was on the injury report the last couple of weeks with a wrist, which he's still on with, but more importantly, not practicing because of an ankle. Josh, since TJ came back, has been phenomenal. He's catching passes. He's blocking. That's obviously not TJ's total forte, blocking, but it certainly is catching passes. I think this is the game where we see TJ Hockenson get more percentage of snaps, more catches. And heck, you know what? Declan's write that down from Wednesday. Very well might come true. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Hockenson catch a touchdown pass. So I'm confident that this is trending in. TJ Hockenson going to see more and more playing time as he comes back from this serious knee injury.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, if we see like 55 Johnny Munt snaps in the absence of Josh Oliver, then I don't know if that's the right. Yeah. So let's ramp it up here. All right, Hock, you've had all summer, all fall now. I think it's time for the workload to increase, and you might need it. Like, we can talk more about this, but the Bears' pass defense has been pretty darn good. So,
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Dex, what are you most confident in?
Most confident in Brian Flores making life hell for Caleb Williams. Brian Flores loves these opportunities, loves to feast on a rookie quarterback who's struggling this year. 41 sacks. That's the most in the NFL that Caleb Williams has taken in 2024. He has lost 278 yards in sacks. Dude, that is a ridiculous amount of negative plays. So I am confident that the gifted defensive coordinator in Brian Flores is going to pressure the rookie quarterback and make his life hell on Sunday.
The Bears' offensive line has gotten healthier over the past couple weeks, which is good news for Caleb. But yeah, I think he's taken like 50 or 55 negative plays so far this year. So like a sack or a TFL or something, or an interception could be a minus play. He's definitely prone to, if you can get him off his spot a little bit and just make him nervous, he's definitely prone to doing dumb things. I am most confident in Matt Eberflus's complete incompetence, especially against winning teams. So I saw this nugget. Matt Eberflus, very much on a hot seat, right? So he has now faced 16 teams in his Bears head coaching career who are above 500 going into that game. And the Bears are 2-14 in those 16 games. So he's only won 2 games against above 500 teams in his Bears coaching career.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Vikings at 8-2 would fall under that category. So
They would.
He's just, he's one of the worst head coaches currently in the NFL. Everything seems completely disorganized. That end of game sequence last week, he's literally telling the media after the game, yeah, I was afraid of something bad happening, so I just sat on the timeout and let 30 seconds run off the clock. And it's like, well, the other bad thing that could happen is your kicker, who is not good beyond 40 yards, could, like get his kick blocked or something. So if the Vikings can kind of keep this game even close, I feel like Eberflus will do something to completely screw it up, or Caleb Williams will throw an interception. But yeah, that stat jumped out: 2-14 against teams that are above 500.
It's remarkable.
Okay, what are you most nervous about on behalf of the Vikings?
So my concern comes with the fact that the Bears defense is actually pretty good. So they are 7th in points allowed, 18.7 points per game. And interestingly enough, and this does not dovetail real well for a Vikings team, they are first in red zone defense with an efficiency of 40.6%. In other words, I think this game could be closer than we all would like or perhaps expect, because I do think when we get to the prediction time, I'm going to go with the purple. But that being said,
Spoiler alert.
Don't assume.
Why would you do that?
Well, I'm just telling you, I don't think the Vikings are going to lose the game.
I know, but like this is literally a Purple Picks episode of Purple Daily.
People aren't tuning us out right now because people aren't tuning out right now. I didn't say if I think that they'll cover, which is what you should stay tuned for, no question about it. All I said
Look at
is
this professional. That's
I
awesome.
am concerned.
That's awesome.
Spoiler alert. People are all like, "Oh, I'm done with this podcast now."
I mean, you literally could wait 10 minutes to just withhold your pick.
Sports Dad gave his pick. Bears defense, 7th in points allowed, 1st in red zone defense. Both of these things concern me. I think it keeps the game closer than probably anybody would like.
Yeah.
Okay. Thing that scares me the most, Judd touches on the red zone efficiency for the Bears, which is actually kudos to them. They've also done a really good job limiting passing plays and passing success. So they've only allowed 7 passing touchdowns this year. That is also the best figure in the NFL. So I would be concerned about having to rely on Sam Darnold to win you this game. So basically, can you not have your blue screen of death moments? Can Aaron Jones have a big effective day? And this be the normal blueprint that we've wanted all season long, which has mostly happened. You won 8 of your 10 games. But if Sam Darnold has to really ball out in this game, if they're requiring Sam to ball out, which I know they really don't want him to really ever do, I don't love that for the Vikings because the Bears defense has very good red zone efficiency and has done a really good job at just limiting quarterback play overall.
Yeah, I think, I mean, their pass defense, it's funny, the Vikings have a really good pass defense. So I'll simplify the comparison with one number. So the Vikings pass defense allows opposing quarterbacks a 79.4 passer rating, which is really bad. Well, the Bears pass defense is 1 point worse only, 80.2 passer rating allowed. So they've been good against the pass. Now it's because they are behind in most of their games, so their opponents are leading. Opponents are actually not throwing the ball nearly as often against the Bears because they're trying to run the ball to just eat clock in the second half. So they've actually only faced like they're 29th in pass attempts allowed because teams are running on them. But yeah, that is something. Okay, follow me on a journey here because the thing I am most nervous about, the Vikings have won 4 consecutive games at Soldier Field, which is great. But the final score of those games has been 19-13, 17-9, 29-13, and then another 19-13. So 19, 19, 29. Getting to those types of scores requires making kicks, making field goals. Boy. And so the thing I am most nervous about is John Parker Romo. He missed an extra point last week. All right, I feel like, I don't know, man, now that he's had some time to settle in and overthink things a little bit.
Turf.
Yeah, it's the Soldier Field turf.
A cesspool of turf.
Looks like, taking a look at the weather, it does look like mild Chicago weather, I think, like low 50s, wind at like 10. I don't know where it's blowing from.
Yeah, because gusts around.
But, we've seen kicks go awry there in multiple directions depending what the weather looks like.
In fact, to prove this point further, that these are usually Bears-Vikings games involve a lot of field goals or kicking. Here are if you include the games at US Bank Stadium, here are some of the scores. Actually, here are the winning scores. The team that won had these numbers, okay? 19, 12, 29, 29, 33, 19, and then 17 and 31. So like I feel like someone's gonna have to kick 3 field goals or something and make a couple extra points to win this game.
I'm actually pretty surprised that there was a decent amount of 28-29s in there.
There were no 28s. There's 2 29s and there's 2 19s.
Oh, got it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get a defensive touchdown. Is what it would be nice to.
Yeah, there should be.
Pick
What's the over? If I gave you 0.5 on anyone getting a defensive touchdown, would you go over or under the 0.5? Probably go over.
Over.
Probably go over. Good odds.
Yeah, could see one.
Okay.
Be nice.
Let's go. Anyone playing or coaching for their job? The Ed Ingram one finally
Dalton
came off the
Reisner.
board last week.
How about Dalton Reisner? I'm just going to flip it every week now. Whoever starts at right guard is playing for their job. And then, of course, the Bears. I mean, you have a fairly long line of coaching staff there. That's probably too late. Actually, they're not coaching for their jobs because the decision on their fate has been made. But I can't imagine there won't be a change there on Black Monday.
Yeah.
I don't think these two guys specifically, are playing for their jobs. But it is interesting. I've noticed this, and I know you guys probably have too. Trent Sherfield has come up with like 1 to 2 big clutch catches every single game, and they're time. They're a first down conversion. They're an 8-yard pass. I think he caught a touchdown against the Rams. But I wonder if Trent Sherfield, whose MO was being a blocking and gritty wide receiver first tight end, then being a pass catching first wide receiver, I wonder if Trent Sherfield gets a little bit more run here. Jalen Naylor drops a ball. Like, they're going to give Naylor every opportunity to still be wide receiver 3, and Speedy, as our nickname that we completely went over me and Phil's head of the last few weeks. But I wonder if Trent Sherfield is making a case to get a couple more snaps.
Or Brandon Powell.
Yeah.
Or Powell.
I mean, they trust Powell a lot. And Sherfield's been great. But it certainly does not appear yet that the faith has been lost in Jalen. I'm curious what the his inability to catch the touchdown pass against the Titans, though, if that's going to sway the coaching staff at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, with his drop rate too throughout 3 years, like it's just we talked about that
because he's got 5 touchdown catches.
Yeah, I don't think you bench him, but it's so tough when you've got a couple big plays like that over the course of the last month, and it's not like he's going to get 10 targets a game, so you got to catch it when it's in your breadbasket. Current playoff odds from The Athletic: the Vikings have a 94% chance to make the playoffs, a 13% chance to win the division, and a 5% chance to win the Super Bowl. Do those odds sound about right to you guys?
Yeah, definitely. Very fair.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who are the only teams? I'm just curious on Super Bowl chances here. Steelers went down a little bit of a peg.
Yeah,
last
they sure did.
night.
Sure did. That snow globe loss is going to hurt them a little bit in the Zolgad power rankings.
Oh.
A little tease again.
Another spoiler alert.
A little tease.
Do you think they're probably talking about that on the flight home too? Man, we're gonna be Zolgad's.
Well, you got so high. You got too high. You beat the Browns. I don't care if it's a snow globe game. Learn how to play in the snow, James.
There's some numbers that the Steelers, after beating the Ravens, are awful, and the Steelers on like the Thursday games are awful. So I don't know.
Well, the Thursday thing is a tough bounce back. I will say that.
Lions 22% to win the Super Bowl, Chiefs 17%, Bills 13%, Eagles up to 10%, Ravens at 7%, and then the Vikings come in 6th with a 5% chance to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I think the Eagles are too high. I think the Vikings are fair. I think the Eagles are too high. You know what? You've had a nice streak here. You've won 6 consecutive games, but I'm sorry if coaching matters at all, which I think it does. I mean, Sirianni made some nice adjustments, but I still think he's a buffoon.
I think they look at it more as the path, and also, like, as much as I don't love Sirianni, he has been to the Super Bowl 2 years ago, right? He was the coach of the Eagles when they went to the Super Bowl. So I think it's more of the path than it is like the underlying thing. So I do think there's some cracks in the armor there, but I think it's because they could probably win the NFC East and have at least one home playoff game.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a thing. Like, Eagles are in position to play a home playoff game. Vikings are not.
10% just seems high. I'm going to tell you that right now. 10% seems off to me personally, but nobody called me about it.
That's fair.
I was available.
Okay, what are the Sharps saying about this game via Action Network? So the author here says, it's always important not to overreact to a one-game sample, but I was highly encouraged by the Bears' offense last week. Under interim offensive coordinator Thomas Brown, several changes were immediately apparent. The Bears used more design quarterback runs. They encouraged Caleb Williams to scramble more. Just get off your spot and explore the space, Caleb. They also utilized DJ Moore in the screen game. They gave DeAndre Swift carries to the outside where he thrives, and a couple other things. Just a lot of positive value moves offensively. None of that would have been possible without a spirited effort from a now healthy offensive line. So there was fewer pressures. Also, we talked about the Bears' pass defense, one of the best in the NFL. This game represents a considerable challenge for Sam Darnold. The Bears are much more vulnerable against the run, ranking 31st in DVOA against the run, but I don't believe the Vikings will take advantage of the Bears' bad run defense. Aaron Jones is playing through an injury, so it's fair. The Vikings have won and covered 4 straight road games at Soldier Field since the start of 2020. Their best road against the spread streak in Chicago since 1965. Mm-hmm. So prior to that, though, the Vikings were 3-16 straight up in their previous 19 games at Soldier Field.
Yep.
Whew.
Yep. Tough.
So right now, Vikings are 3.5-point favorites. 53% of the bets are on the Vikings. 51% of the money is on the Vikings. So it's very 50-50 split.
Mm-hmm.
And in a moment, in case you forgot, Judd will unveil who he has in this game, and all of us will.
I'm loving the Bears.
Okay. Pepsi is here with these 32-ounce Justin Jefferson souvenir cups, which you can find inside Hy-Vee Fast and Fresh locations around the Twin Cities. There's a QR code on the cup as well, where you can enter to win Victor's Ride, a glorious Vikings-themed Polaris ATV. Pepsi's giving away a solo pizza stove, Vikings autograph merchandise, so go get your 32-ounce Justin Jefferson souvenir cups, courtesy of Pepsi, inside Hy-Vee Fast and Fresh locations, and keep sending pictures via Twitter/X of those cups. And, Also, Federated Insurance, been around for a long time, 1904, based in Owatonna, Minnesota. Like having a great offensive line for your business so you can stay focused on growing your business while they focus on safety, preventing claims, and risk management. Federated specializes in various industries, and you can find a full list of those industries at federatedinsurance.com. At Federated Mutual Insurance Company, it's our business to protect yours. Okay, Vikings, 3.5-point favorites. Who wins and by how many? By the way, we're all 7-3 picking straight up. Against the spread, Declan is 7-3. We are both 5-5. Judd me. So follow Declan if you're
I took it on the chin. I took it on the chin.
That's interesting.
Because
I feel like in even like my own when I do betting that I'm much more of a pick 'em than I am spreads. I don't like spreads. Spreads, don't like it.
Yeah, I picked the Vikings I picked the Vikings to win and not cover against the Titans, and that hurt me.
Yeah,
hurt me deeply. Mm-hmm. I am going to, as I alluded to earlier in today's show, you'll all recall because you are still watching. I am going to pick the Vikings to win, and I'm going to pick the Vikings. Spread makes me a little nervous, but I'm going to pick them to cover. I think they cover. The spread's not huge.
That half-point hook there on the
I know. I hate the half.
Makes it a little.
I know because it can't be a field goal then, and it has to be. But
and like if they're down by 11, the Bears late, and they score a touchdown, go for 2, backdoor. It's some backdoor stuff.
I got bitten in the butt by not picking them both to win and cover, so I'll just go back to picking them for both.
Okay.
Yeah, I will take them to win straight up, and I will take them also to cover. This is a little bit of a dangerous line to cover here with the 3.5, but I do think the Vikings are just a superior team, even though being on the road, and usually these games being a lot more uglier and not appealing to the naked eye. I still like the Vikings to win and to cover the spread.
All right, I'm going to do what Judd did last week. I'm going to hedge a little bit.
Yeah, you're split it. Okay.
Vikings win, but I'll take the 3.5 on the Bear side there. Wow. So Vikings win this game. Maybe it's a backdoor, or maybe my guy John Parker Romo, who I expressed full faith in earlier in this episode.
I call him Parker because that's what he asked. He's asked
Parker Romo
to be called, but I mean that's fine.
Like a 19-16 kind of a situation.
So you think it's going to be a old school like the scores that you just went through? It's going to be an old school, ugly November game in Soldier.
I think you nailed it on the defensive. There's going to be like a defensive touchdown.
Yeah.
I could see Sam Darnold throwing a couple interceptions or something.
fumbling.
And you're clawing your way. So I'll hedge here. Vikings win, but Bears cover the 3.5.
All right.
So, all right, boys. Tomorrow, the place to be. Purple Daily YouTube channel. Vikings Vent Line. Right after Vikings and Bears are done. Judd's not going to take that ugly sweater off until the Vikings lose.
Yeah. No.
All right, Purple Daily. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.